Hurts takes the snap. He's back. He's going to run. He's in! Touchdown! Jalen Hurts! The Eagles are just devouring the Giants. And it is A.J. Brown again! Another touchdown!
Welcome back to another week of the Link Lineup pregame show. With me today, I got Bryce, I got Josh. Today, your 3-2 Philadelphia Eagles will travel to New Jersey, not New York, to play the 2-4 Giants. So right away, we're 3-point favorite. How are we feeling? Bryce, I'll start with you. How are you feeling about this game so far? We got 51 minutes till kickoff. How are you feeling so far?
To be completely honest, whatever happens in this game, I just pray to God nobody gets hurt. That's my biggest takeaway for it. Please do not let this field ruin somebody's year. I beg and plead. That's my biggest takeaway. Obviously, feel really good about Saquon. I feel like he could have a really good day today. And I'm also excited to see Sidney Brown come back towards ACL on this field 10 months ago. Kind of like a full circle moment for him. And I'm excited to see how he plays today.
Right. Yeah. So I'm kind of glad that we're playing in or at MetLife in October and not, January like we did last year. Just for the off chance that we do end up in the playoffs. It's not guaranteed yet. But it's nice that if we're tearing ACLs on this field, it'll be this time, not in January. But I think last January, what happened? That was the game where Jalen Hurts broke his finger. Boy, I'm struggling this morning. But yeah, Jalen Hurts broke his finger. AJ, what did he do? What was that injury? Was it an ankle sprain?
When last year?
Yeah, he got hurt.
Something with his ankle.
It was something. Sidney Brown tore his ACL, and we lost.
It was his knee.
Oh, his knee. Yeah. I think he sprained his knee or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember that. Because we were mad. I remember I was mad about that game. That was terrible. I don't know why we were playing. And we didn't look good either. It wasn't a fun time. But we're here now. So, Josh, how are you feeling about this game?
Just from a us versus them perspective, I'm optimistic. I don't think very highly of the Giants. But like you guys said, I'm just hoping we come out of this week healthy. I hate playing on that field, and yeah, but also like you said, it's good that we're playing there, here in October rather than in January. Even ACLs aside from even just minor injuries, it might keep people out a few weeks. Because like last year, if AJ Brown got hurt, this week instead of at the end of the season, he would have been back in time for the playoffs. So,
right. Yeah, I'm not feeling too great about this game. I don't know. Feels weird. Maybe it's because I'm not as down as I was Sunday whenever we beat the Browns. After seeing some things, I like what I did see, but it's still the execution just wasn't there, and it makes me sad. Just because I know that this team is very talented and we're just not playing like it. But overall, we'll find out. I'm probably going to be fired up, ready to go here in about 40 minutes when our kickoff starts. But until then, I'm kind of in the middle. I just want this team to show me something. Show me that you can be explosive. The biggest thing that I'm hoping for this game is that first drive. We don't have to just throw a deep ball just right away, try to score on 2 plays. Like, have a nice drive, your first drive. Or at some point in the first quarter, please, and end it with some points.
I was just about to say, we have to score in the first quarter at some point this year.
We have to. We need to. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm just hoping that we kind of slow it down because I feel like we're just trying to start and just run away with it. We're not there yet. We're not there yet, and I think we're not as good as far as like the coaches think. I think we're not as good as they think they are, at least right now. It could change later on, but right now we are struggling to play 60 minutes of solid football. We're playing like 40 minutes of good football, and then the rest is just not great. But that's where I'm at. So let's start with some inactives. Inactives, of course, on the Eagles front. Jordan Mailata got put on IR. Cindy Brown, as Bryce said, is activated. So nice to have him back. He'll be loads of help, I think, in like dime packages against the run, especially if they have like 4 wide receivers out there, trying to spread it out. He'll be able to help out, and even in general, being like a dime linebacker type player, I think he'll be great help. But for the Giants, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, and Dane Belton are active. They were hurt, but that's how they want to play today. The inactives, tackle Christopher Hubbard, punter Jamie Gillen, cornerback Dory Jackson, safety Anthony Johnson, outside linebacker Boogie Basham, and then of course Tommy DeVito's their third quarterback. With the Eagles, Tanner McKee, our third quarterback. Eli Ricks is inactive. I think he had a phantom injury. He'll probably be put on IR. Tackle Darian Kennard is inactive. Trevor Keegan's inactive. Dallas Goddard is inactive and will probably be inactive for maybe 1 or 2 more weeks. And then Byron Young, who hasn't played a snap yet, is inactive. Darius Slay's active. Okay. So, woohoo. Show me something, but that's the inactives. Nothing really crazy. It's going to suck without Jordan Mailata, I think. But here's something that I read all week long: is Fred Johnson much better at left tackle, which is what he'll be playing, than he is at right tackle. So, how are we feeling about that one, Josh? I'll start with you.
I mean, I trust Jeff Stoutland. Yeah, obviously, like you said, happy to not have Jordan Mailata out there, but Fred Jackson's shown flashes this season, and yeah, I trust Stoutland to coach him up, and I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, Bryce, do you think would you rather have Fred Johnson or Jack Driscoll starting?
Definitely Fred.
Okay.
I feel a lot more confident with Fred in there, but if you would have asked me how I felt about this game in particular before the Giants traded for Brian Burns, I would have felt a lot better. I think Brian Burns is one of the more underrated pass rushers in the league, and I feel like he has a really good display of speed to power, and it also helps that he's got one of the longest wingspans in the edge rushers in the NFL. So that kind of scares me a little bit. If you could translate some speed to power and you have a good bull rush and while having a stupid long wingspan, it's hard for any tackle to get his hands on you. So it makes me a little nervous with Fred, but I think we're going to have to slide Jack Stoll over there to that side, and they're going to have to work some combo. Yeah, they're going to have to work some combo blocks.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. So before Thursday's game, the Giants led the league in sacks with 26. The Broncos since then has taken over that lead. So the offensive line is going to be a big key to winning this game. And yes, we have 4 of our starters there, but Fred Johnson will face some tough talent. Thankfully, Kayvon Thibodeau is out. I can't remember what happened to him. I think
I'm not too worried about him. He's been a fucking bust in my eyes these past couple years already.
Yeah, but we hate him. But we hate him because remember the Nick Foles thing? Remember that?
I remember doing a snow angel right next to Nick Foles' dead body, pretty much.
Yeah, but I think this is going to be a good matchup. And really, in all honesty, all odds are going to be on Saquon Barkley against his former team. Bluebirds are probably going to come out, but unfortunately for Giants fans, Eagles fans typically take over that stadium because it's a very short drive. Not a very short drive, but it's a short drive. It's a makeable distance, and the Giants, they lost their last 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right. Yes.
Yeah, they lost to the Bengals on what was that? Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, and then
Week before that, they lost to who the hell they lose to? Did they play the Browns the week before, or am I still off by a couple weeks?
oh no, they haven't lost 2 straight. They beat the Seahawks, lost to the Cowboys week
That's right.
before. Yeah.
They beat the Seahawks on that blocked field goal.
Yep. So here's we're gonna skip the X factors and matchups to watch. Really, I think the biggest person to watch this game is going to be Quinyon Mitchell, especially whenever he goes up against Malik Neighbors.
That's going to be that'll feed families for years to come.
That's a good matchup. Malik Neighbors is very, very good. He's on my fantasy team. I've missed him the past 2 weeks. Unfortunately, he comes back against the Eagles, so I'm not cheering for him. I'm taking a fantasy loss over an Eagles loss any day of the week. I don't care. But Quinyon Mitchell's got his hands full, and also like Wan'Dale Robinson isn't a slouch either. I mean, he's not like the greatest like pure receiver whenever you think of like wide receivers, but he's a great gadget guy. Singletary's back, which I don't care really. I mean, he's cool, but our run defense sucks anyway, so it doesn't matter who's running the ball. I mean, we're going to get gashed anyway. But yeah. So Bryce, what's your matchup to watch? Who's your X factor?
I'm gonna take the defensive role here for this one. I'm excited to see how Cooper DeJean does again this week. I assume he's going to be playing against Wan'Dale Robinson a lot in the slot. Be interested to see how he continues to play. To me, you couldn't ask for a better debut than he had last week. He was all over the field. Maybe if he would have got a pick or something, but he did everything he really needed to do last week, and it seemed like they use him how he should be used in the NFL. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife. He can play anywhere on the defense. He could play a sub linebacker role if he had to. He could play safety. He could play corner. He could play pretty much anywhere. And from what we found out last week, he's pretty damn good on blitzes.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if you guys saw the clip, but he had like a delayed rush, and he knocked an offensive tackle off of his set, like shoved him 3 yards back, and shed a block pretty well. I don't know how strong that kid is, but it seemed like he's strong enough to throw like a 330-pound man off his fucking set. So he can pack a punch. But so I'm excited to see how he plays today. I think the Giants are going to want to try to run the ball a lot this game. So he's got to be willing to stick his nose in there and make some key tackles.
Josh, who's your X factor for this game?
It's tough to say. I mean, we've already kind of mentioned a few good matchups, I think, between, like Neighbors and Quinyon Mitchell, Fred Johnson, and, the Giants pass rush. I don't know. I mean, I'm just looking forward to seeing how Saquon does. I think he's got a bone to pick with the Giants, obviously, not only from them letting him go, but also, from some of the comments by the GM after. They're kind of, saying like we're going to be fine and kind of suggesting that they don't need him. I'm looking forward to seeing that, but I'm also nervous about the field with him. And he's been good this year, but he does have some injury history, so I hope he doesn't overdo it.
That would ruin my year. I will be heartbroken. Yeah. I'd be ready to move on to next year at that point. I'll be like, I'm done with this. Give me next year.
Seems like you're a loss away from moving on anyway, because you're ready to fire Nick. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, just got to go, but
I'm curious to see if Jalen Hurts can continue building on his no turnover game from last week. If he does that, we're obviously going to be in games, no matter who we play against. Obviously, if you turn the ball over often, like he was, like two times a game, it seemed like you're not going to make things easy, and you'll probably lose games that you should win. So he's going to be somebody I watch. I know I've probably said his name the past 6 weeks now, probably, but it is what it is. But I'm very curious to see what he does with the offense. I'm curious to see if Kellen Moore, they've been asked about it all week, if they're going to use the middle of the field or if Jalen's just doesn't want to, whatever the case may be. They were asked about, they were hounded about it. They said, hey, it just wasn't the game plan this past week, which I can see with the way the Browns defense is.
Yeah,
but
they got some really good linebackers.
So yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious to see what this offense does. But I'm excited.
Did you see where they kind of alluded? I know he kind of just said it a second ago, but how a lot of stuff from under center, and Jalen's not really comfortable with it. Jalen doesn't want to do it. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Like your quarterback not wanting to do something?
I think it's all overblown, to be honest with you. I just don't think we've had success with it, so we've kind of just strayed away from it. If anything, if he is uncomfortable with it, and that's fine. He's a smaller quarterback. He's 6'1". I know that there are people the same height as him. So turning your back to the defense isn't fun. And then having to kind of poke your head up and look and see. Whereas in shotgun, you have your eyes on the field the whole time. Run pistol. Pistol works. It's worked in the past. You get it's like a hybrid. You're not under center, but you aren't technically in shotgun. Saquon can get a head start. That's the one thing I do wish we did was under center, just because runs. Because Bryce, as a running back, that it's nice if you got to hit a hole going full speed, especially if
Instead
nothing
of standing flat-footed.
Yeah, and then starting as you're getting the ball. You want to, at least whenever I know I'm hitting a hole, you want to have speed, because there's going to be hands that are going to try to grab you, and it's a lot harder to grab you whenever you're already almost at full speed.
Yeah, and especially like with in shotgun sets, stuff like that, you're obviously off to the side, and if you're running the ball out of shotgun, it's a zone read or an inside zone, something like that, which causes you to false step. Like you have one false movement backwards when you start your motion to run the ball, and that matters a lot in the NFL. Timing matters more than anything, and it's how quick you can beat somebody else to a spot. One little half a second false step can make or break the difference on somebody winning a block or winning against the block, and you have somebody in the backfield already. So under center works a lot better, in my opinion, if you want to run the ball, because even if because you still have that false step a little bit sometimes, but at least you know where you're going and you have a full speed ahead to get there. And if you're a good enough athlete, you can beat somebody to a spot. So,
and I will add that some of my favorite plays, like the history of football, is play action from under center, like the little shot plays. You got max protection, you got two guys running routes, and you're selling the run hard. And
it's always fun to see that, from on the TV perspective, because you could just see in a quarterback, when they load up to launch that motherfucker, you're like, oh, somebody's beat. Somebody's wide open.
Yeah. Those are some of my favorite plays in the history. You turn around and the quarterback turns back, faces the field, and he puts all that power in that back leg, ready to let it fly. And I wish we'd do some of that, but I mean, maybe it's not on our cards. Josh, anything you would like to add about under center?
I agree with Bryce's point that I think it's I prefer running the ball from under center as opposed to the shotgun. I think pistol, we could run out of the pistol too. I don't know if that's in our repertoire, but yeah, I think having the running back behind the quarterback when you're trying to run the ball is just more advantageous.
It's just easier, in my opinion.
It's easier. Yeah.
And on the topic of Saquon and running the ball, old friend Minnie Wilson from YouTube asked how many yards does Saquon have this game. We'll say this: is it over 100 yards or Is it under? We'll set the line over under 100.
Rushing?
Rushing. Just rushing.
I'm gonna go under 100. I think he's at like that 86 to 94 range is where I'm at. I think he breaks one big one, and that accounts for a lot of his yards. We got to give some kind of credit to the Giants a little bit. Their defensive front has been really good this year,
Right.
Against the run and against the pass. They've been pretty decent. They're no slouch, that's for sure. That's like their key strong point of their team this year. It's been their defensive line and Malik Neighbors. And to be honest, Daniel Jones hasn't played awful that we've seen in the past. He's been playing fairly decent. Hasn't been great, but hasn't been good. I mean, hasn't been great, but hasn't been bad. Sorry. And but their defensive line is pretty good. So I'm interested to see. Like, if we were doing total yards, I would have set the line at like 115 or something like that. I probably would have took the over on it because I feel like Saquon he's going to have to be a factor in this game with this pass rush. Check downs, something like that. Get the ball in his hands and let him go. So I'm going to go under on the 100 yards rushing.
Okay. Josh, what do you got?
Yeah, I think I would have to take the under, just odds wise. But I also agree with Bryce. I think if you were going total yards, I think I would go over 100 for sure. Yeah, I mean, you put it well. I think we're going to try to get the ball in his hands, and I think we're going to. I wouldn't be surprised if a bigger portion of his yards than usual come from like screen plays or dump offs, check downs, things like that, as opposed to just running the ball with him. But rushing yards, yeah, I would say under 100.
Yeah, so here's why I'm going to pick over. We tend to get cute pretty often whenever like moments like this happen. They want to feed him the ball. They don't care. They're going to hand him the ball off 40 times today. And
I'm so scared it's going to get him hurt.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. We're going to overdo it.
Yeah, I mean he's a bigger bag, so I mean, it is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna go over these two. We're going under. Let's finish it off with some game score predictions. Maybe a bold prediction. Starting with Josh, give me a score prediction, and then give me a bold prediction.
Score prediction, I'm going to say 28. I'm going to say 28-24 Eagles.
Damn, that's exactly where I was going. That's exactly what I was going to do.
I think it's going to be uncomfortably close, but I do think we're going to win. But I think it's going to be a little, it's going to be a nail biter, and it's going to shave some years off our lives watching it.
All right, and your bold prediction.
Bold prediction. I mean, I think in terms of the score, just the game itself.
This maybe a player, maybe you could say Nick gets fired on the sidelines after that. Big Dom gets in a fight. I mean, it could be anything.
I wouldn't mind the first one. I would. My bold prediction is that I was gonna say like a big Saquon game, but I guess that's not really bold.
No, it ain't.
My bold prediction is that
Greg Calcaterra goes for 100 yards. There you go.
120?
Just 100.
I thought you was about to say 120. I was like, golly.
I'm gonna say the Giants don't get a sack today.
Oh Lord. All right.
God damn, we're gonna come back at halftime. They're gonna have 8 sacks.
Yeah,
hey, that's why it's bold.
We'll be stressed out. Bryce, what about you?
I'm gonna roll with. We're never gonna win a game by more than one score. It's not gonna happen. So
Make sure.
I'll go 27-24. Somehow we win by 3. fucking field
Oh.
goal game. I don't know. But my bold prediction is I'm going to stick with it until it fucking happens. Quinyon gets his first pick today, and it might be a pick six. I think he jumps a comeback route by Malik Neighbors, and Daniel Jones doesn't see him, and goodbye, Quinyon, pick six to the house. That's what I'm going to roll with. 27-24. I hate it, but I don't think we're ever going to win a game by more than one score. So,
All right. Manny said 35-20. I'm kind of leaning that way. I know I said at the beginning of the show I don't feel good about it, but we're getting closer to game time. I'm getting fired up. So I'm getting that way too. I was going to say more so like 31-13.
gosh damn.
Need it.
That's
But
fucking belt to ass, brother.
That make us all smile. That would make us all smile.
I'll
And
be
then
ready for next week at that point. We're like,
yeah,
let's go.
my bold prediction is we score once in the first quarter. So I don't care if it's a safety, a field goal, a touchdown.
Isn't that crazy that that's become a bold prediction instead of that needs to be an every week thing that has to happen?
We don't go 3-and-out in our first possession.
Okay, that's a little bit better.
I'll take it.
No, I think my bold prediction. I'm gonna say that Grant Calcaterra gets like probably 70, 80 yards. I don't know. He's in that Jalen Hurts.
What do you have
streak,
last week? Like 74?
60
Something like that.
something.
60
like
something,
60.
yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm praying for. Except I think our friend Cody picked him up in fantasy. So, but I don't care. Like I said, don't care at all. But
Appreciate
yeah,
it, man. Thanks,
Yeah.
sir.
thanks, Manny. So with that being said, we'll be back at halftime. Me and Bryce for sure. Josh is always hit or miss at halftime, but it's all good. But we'll be back. Hopefully,
Sometimes
we
I got to
smile.
wallow.
That's all good. We might be happy. We might be sad. Maybe somewhere in the middle, but no worries. We'll be here for it all.
Manny, I hope if you're still listening, hope to see you at halftime. I want to see what your analysis is at halftime too.
Yeah, for sure. Come back, say hi, tell us what you feel. But yeah, that'll do it for the preview show, pregame show. I don't know why I said preview show, but pregame show. We're here, boys. Week where we at? 7 now?
Yeah.
Week 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast time flies in the season. But we're not halfway over yet. We got plenty of time to figure it out. And until then, as always, go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go